Alright, you hymenocerises. It is that time of year, the 2013 pre-season me talking shit video, whatever you want to call this thing. I have actually drawn the lucky fortune of being the first one to have a bye week by playing Kirch. Kirch's draft strategy was very obvious. Pick players whose names you knew regardless of their condition. He's got two questionable wideouts right now with Cruz and Roddy White with injury concerns. He's got some ancient players that are going to break down any moment. Obviously just names he knows, Gore, Gates, and Akers. And then the big question mark is how Lamar Miller ended up on his team. The only thing I can think of is that he was drafted because Kirsch thinks that he's married to one of the Kardashians. Moving on to the next game, Micah and Mark, two of the heavyweights from last year, are squaring up. A lot of possibility on these teams. You know, how's Reggie Bush going to look in Detroit's offense? How's Fitzgerald going to look catching from Palmer? How's Tony Romo going to look as a still professional football player? Who knows? I guess we'll have to wait and see on that one. Next game up is Matt and Mikey T. I want to thank Matt for taking Steven Jackson so I didn't have to, which means that he is a shoo-in for a huge season this year. And Mikey T, I'm really impressed. You actually drafted Gonzalez when Witten was still available for taking the non-homer pick and ending up with your lineup having only two out of the three even remotely draftable Dallas players. Next team matchup is Maria versus Eric. Maria, look at your lineup. I'm seeing double. 4 Richardsons. I'd be very impressed if you knew which one is which. Expect tests throughout the year. Eric has his team centered around Doug Martin and Brandon Marshall's hip. So we'll see what happens there. But I have to say, steal of the draft from Eric Lucas. You may know him as the number 2 overall pick from this year's season premiere of the league. That's right, Eric's got Blair Walsh, so we're expecting big things from his kicking unit, absolutely. And then last up is Becker and Hoopy. And speaking of Blair Walsh, I think Becker, it's time for you to change your team name. Doesn't really make so much sense this year, Blair Walsh Project. Great looking team though, Becker. I think that you had a really strong draft, a lot of great players, and then somehow Darren McFadden snuck on. Not quite sure how that happened. And then Hoopy, you really lucked out with Andre Brown destroying himself for the first half of the season. That should give some extra value to David Wilson. And it should hopefully offset for you the fact that you're starting a number 3 wideout. Just thought you should know. Guys, relatively short video this week. A lot of question marks heading into week 1. We got to see how things kind of shake down. But the one thing that isn't a question is that you all suck. I will see you brown stains next week.